Welcome, everyone. Welcome to E3. Come on, invite others to join us. Tonight's gonna be like life changing. It's gonna be crazy life changing. So I'm encouraging you right now to go and invite others to join us to become a part of the E3 family, the E3 movement, and allow yourself to become um, a part of this absolutely incredible movement that is calling people to their best selves and challenging people to try new and exciting things. And so I want to encourage all of you right now to invite others. I am really excited. I am so motivated about what God is doing and so excited about the opportunities that God has given me to share in a unique and wonderful way the exciting possibilities of growing yourself, becoming your best self, moving beyond all of the barriers and boundaries, and just becoming someone who can't fail because as amazing as God is, he's not letting you fail. So as always, I'm to taking some time to invite some people, family and friends and all that kind of good stuff. So why not join me? I see people are jumping on. Awesome. Why not join me in inviting people to come and to share? It is amazing. It is life changing what happens when you become a part of E3. It is that is absolutely life changing. So again, I want to encourage you to join me and to make sure that you are connecting to E3. E3 is about growing and developing people to be successful and to live victoriously and successfully. And so just help me real quick, just kind of invite people and get people to connect. It's gonna be life changing tonight. And so I'm looking forward to it. And I don't want anybody to miss it. I don't want anybody to miss this tonight. E3 is designed for you. And so join us tonight. All right. All right. So tonight what I want to do is I want to talk about winning communication or being a winning communicator. I want to talk about being a winning communicator. All right. So if someone can just text that in the thread, a winning communicator. I want to talk about being a winning communicator, and it's powerful because I think this is where a lot of people fail themselves. A lot of us fail ourselves because we don't understand the power of communication. And so I've got some real powerful stuff. And so I mean, get out your pads and that other device and listen to me. A part of my goal is to stretch you. Seriously, a part of my goal is to stretch you and to put you in some exciting places. And so tonight, what I want to do is really stretch you and really talk about this whole idea of being a winning communicator. Because once again, I believe that the reason why so many people struggle is because they don't know how to communicate. Communication is not just talking. Communication is a system of how you interact with others and the means and the methods you employ to do that. Communication is a system of how you interact. And so when we talk about being a powerful communicator, what we're really talking about is someone who just takes full advantage of the opportunity to do something amazing, to say something amazing, to inspire others, to motivate others. And so let's kind of jump in. Um, what one of my goals tonight is to give you the tools to have a strong communication system and to have a process by which you do that. Okay, to have a strong communication system and a process by which you do that. So everybody, again, invite 3 or 4 people. Just kind of put it out there. Invite some people because I promise you tonight. I promise you tonight. I'm going to give you the tools that would allow you to be able to walk in any environment and to be an effective and successful communicator. All right, I'm gonna give you the tools to allow you to walk in to any environment any environment and be an effective communicator. An effective communicator. I'm telling you now, that's what people are afraid of someone who can communicate. If you can communicate, you are a positive danger. When you can communicate, you are a positive danger. All right. You are an amazing, influential person when you know how to communicate. Okay. And communication is more than just being charismatic. Communication is the ability to just kind of walk people into what you're thinking and to get them to buy in to you. Okay. Get this. When you are an effective communicator, you are getting people to buy in to you. You got it? You're getting people to buy into you, your vision, your dreams, your ideas, all of the stuff that comes with you. When you become an effective communicator, you are getting people to buy in to you. Okay? Watch this. Everybody get this. No one will ever fail when they are an effective communicator. No one will ever fail when they're an effective communicator. Effective communicators have this amazing way of moving people towards their dreams, their thoughts, and their ideas. All right. Some people mishandle it. Some people use it destructively. Some people use it to work against the greater good. But here's what I've discovered. When you understand the power of effective communication, you will become this amazing person who just takes full advantage of impacting the lives of others. So let's jump right in tonight. Let's jump right in. There are 3 forms of communication. Make sure you get this, okay? And you already know it, but I want to make sure everybody gets it. There are 3 forms of communication. The first form of communication is verbal, right? This is what I'm doing right now, verbal communication. Right? The second is written, right? Is written communication, right? The third is nonverbal. And so I'm going to give you tools for all 3, right? The first is verbal. That's what I'm doing now. I literally make a living verbalizing, okay? Framing thoughts in words and releasing words into, watch this, I'm going to be churchy for 30 seconds, releasing words into the atmosphere, all right? But also, I make a living writing. Okay? Third, I am a strong interpreter of nonverbal language, not nonverbal communication, rather. So, Paul Myers once said, communication, the human connection, is the key to personal and career success. Communication, human connection, is the key to personal and career success. One of the things that you must understand is that if you lack the ability to communicate, what you're going to ultimately end up doing is shrinking the world that you can function in. When you lack the ability to communicate, you're going to shrink the world you can function in. Because when you are limited in terms of your communication skills, if you do not understand the power of your verbal skill set, and if you do not understand that you need to work on your writing, and if you do not recognize your verbal communication and the stuff you give off with facial expressions and body languages and the shifting of behavior. I can remember one of our favorite shows is Martin. And everyone on the show figured out when Tommy was lying, because he would scratch his head and say, all right, you remember that? And they would say, oh, he's lying. Why? Because his body language for them gave off the scent that he was not being truthful. Let me see if I can help you understand something then. When you are proficient as a verbal, as a communicator, and that includes all 3. When you are proficient in that, you give yourself an opportunity to talk people into your visions and your dreams. All right. If you do not understand this, you're going to miss something amazing tonight, which is your ability to communicate is something that will set you apart from other people. I want everybody to put in the thread, master communication. I want you to put it in the thread right now, master communication. So Let me begin by giving you some unhealthy communication skills, some unhealthy communication content, and some unhealthy communication traits. I'm going to give you, I'm going to give these to you right now. Some unhealthy stuff, all right? Stuff that we all need to stay away from. I've been guilty of some of these, if not all of them, but this is stuff we need to stay away from. You ready? Here's the first one, is gossip. You got to stay away from gossip. Gossip is basically us talking about someone not in the room and then not having the courage to confront them when they confront us. Okay, gossip. And I'm telling you now, and the Bible talks about how dangerous and destructive the gossiper is, right? Gossip. And so, and so one of the first traits that you want to get rid of and you want to minimize in your life is gossip. Here's the second one, is negativity. Negativity. And I'm telling you, negativity is scary because the negative person can take a beautiful moment and literally dismantle it. The negative person can take a beautiful moment and dismantle it, right? A negative person can take a beautiful moment, a beautiful day. Like right now in Jacksonville, Florida, it's a beautiful day. And a negative person can find something wrong with this beautiful day, right? Negative people, it is stated that we are 4 times more likely to believe a negative statement than a positive statement. So when you are negative, you are actually poisoning people who need to be positive to manage life. When you are a negative communicator or when you have negative content, you are poisoning people. That's why you got to be careful what you say to your spouses, to your children, to your friends, to your circle of relationships. And you got to be careful the spirit you give off, right? Here's the third one, is judging. Judging. Right? This is one of those things you want to stay away from. Judging, always finding something wrong, always finding something that you perceive. Listen, here's one of the most important lessons I've learned. Just because I think it's wrong doesn't mean it is. And just because I want it done a certain way doesn't mean that's the only way it can be done. And if you're not careful, you will judge people based upon the fact that they don't do it the way you want it done, that they don't behave the way you want them to behave, and that they don't live out their life the way you want them to live it out. At some point in your life, you got to be secure enough to let people trust their God and allow their God to walk them through their process. Even if you're spouses. Wow. Here's the other thing, complaining. Complaining. Oh my goodness. Complaining. The person who just seems to always have something going on. My wife has been using this word lately, toxicity, right? It's a beautiful word. I love it. Toxicity. And of course, it is the word that comes out of toxic. And toxic is when something is just very poisonous. Well, complaining people are poisonous. We saw what happened to the children of Israel when they complained. They spent 40 years in the wilderness and most of them died. How dangerous is it to complain? All right. Here's the other one, exaggeration. People who just exaggerate everything, just everything is such a big deal and everything. Oh, this is the worst thing that could happen in the world. Oh, nobody's ever been through this. I remember years ago, I'm going to tell on my father. Years ago, my dad had a knee replacement, right? And he came home to a woman who was a double amputee. He came home to a woman who was a double amputee. And I'll never forget my father. Oh, he's just talking about, this is the worst thing that could ever happen to anybody. And my mom looks at me and winks her eye and said, yeah, Frank, it's just the worst thing. And I'm sitting there going, wow, I'm laughing. Here is a woman with no legs in the company of a man with 2 legs who's complaining about discomfort and pain. Now, I told on my dad, the other part, he figured it out and he got better, okay? But it's interesting how easy it is for us to exaggerate, for us to just go so beyond until now everybody's feeling us. And it's like, that's why I'm careful what I put on social media. I do not put on social media how hard life is for me, right? My mother passed. I never posted anything on social media because for me, you got to be careful that you don't exaggerate. Here's the danger of exaggeration. You ready? You can put this in the thread. Exaggeration can lead to being a victim. Exaggeration can lead to being a victim, right? Well, here's the last one, lying, just lying. And what's crazy is when you are a proficient liar, eventually you'll start believing your own lies. Eventually you'll start believing your own lies. So let's look at these again. Gossip, negativity, judging, complaining, lying, exaggeration. All right. These are 7 unhealthy traits you want to stay away from when it comes to communication. You don't want to be a gossiper. You don't want to be negative. You don't want to be a judgmental person. You don't want to complain. You don't want to lie, and you don't want to exaggerate. This weakens your ability to effectively communicate, and it takes away the authority of influence that comes with your communication, because eventually people will see you as a liar, as an exaggerator, as a gossiper, as a judgmental person, as a negative person, and as a gossiping person. So gossip, negativity, judging, complaining, lying, exaggeration. I gave you 6. I said 7, but I gave you 6. Okay. So I gave you 6, right? Let me make sure. Yeah, I gave you 6. Gossip, negativity, judging, complaining, lying, exaggeration. 6 of them. All right. I gave you 6 of them. Now watch this. There's this amazing quote, and I want you to grab this quote. You can have brilliant ideas, but if you can't get them across, your ideas won't get you anywhere. Lee Iacocca. If you can have brilliant ideas, but if you can't communicate them, if you can't get them across, then what happens is your ideas won't get you anywhere. This is why you have to work on your communication skills. Because if you want to live successful, you got to be able to walk into any room, and as the old folks say, and have an intelligent conversation. If you want to have a healthy marriage or healthy relationships, you got to be a communicator. You have to know how to interact. You have to know how to frame your thoughts so that your spouse or your friends or your significant others are actually able to benefit from your thoughts. You can't always say, what are you thinking? Nothing. Everything about you says you're thinking something. Nothing. How was your day? Good. What are you doing today? Nothing. What have you been thinking? Nothing. That's the fastest way to drive somebody away from you. Because eventually, as people try to enter into a relationship of exploration with you, what they end up discovering is that there's no substance to you. And substantive people eventually become exhausted with people who treat them as if they are a disruptor and an intruder into their thoughts. Successful people are capable of communicating. You have a brilliant idea, but you don't know how to write, right? You don't know how to write. And so you don't know how to frame your words. You don't know how to frame your thoughts. You don't know how to conceptualize. Here you are, a brilliant person with a brilliant idea, but you lack communication skills. And I really think that we as African Americans must understand the power of healthy communication, and that we must work at it in meaningful and incredible ways. So let me give you now some tools in terms of being an effective communicator, both verbally, written, and nonverbal. Here they are. First one is know your message. One of the most important things you can do is be a student of your own vision. Know your message. Know and understand your thoughts, which means that you have to build out space for solitude and build out space for meditation and reflection so that you can become clear about your thoughts. Your thoughts then become embodied in words, whether it is written, whether it is oral, whether it is non-oral or non-verbal. Know your message, okay? Which means spend time wrestling with your thoughts, spend time thinking through your processes, and spend time hearing the voice of God as it speaks to you. Spend more time in prayer. Spend more time journaling. Spend time knowing your message. Here's the second thing. Make sure you are understood. Make sure you are understood. Where one of the ways you do that is you actually ask people to give back to you what you gave to them. All right. Or you are very selective and intentional in the words you use. You ready? And you're also intentional in the emotions that accompany the content of your conversations. Wow. I discovered the hard way that no one, especially my wife, is going to want to hear me, even if I'm saying something true and helpful, if I'm hollering. And so I had to learn to get control of my content and get control of my emotions in communication. Sometimes I still fail, but I've discovered I am more effective when I am concerned about making sure people understand me. It's not on them to understand me. It's on me to do my part to make sure I can communicate to them in a way that causes them to understand me. Here's the third thing. Deliver your message with passion and pace. Deliver your message with passion and pace. Understand as a Black preacher that there are times when I raise my voice, right? There are times when I calm my voice. Understand that in either case, it can be passion. All right. Passion isn't always how loud you are. Passion can be, you ready? Passion can be that you're talking softly, but the sincerity that comes through your voice and the intentionality of the way you use your voice helps people understand where you are and what you're feeling. Deliver your message with passion and pace. Control your pace, because pace allows you to ensure that the hearer can grasp what you're saying, right? And that doesn't mean that you always talk slow. It means that you talk with intent. And when you talk with intent, you can control the optics of the conversation and you can manage the moment that you're communicating in. Here's the other one. Study those who you are communicating to. Become a student of the people you're communicating to. One of the things I've learned as a public speaker, as a preacher, is to be able to pay attention to the people as I'm communicating, to kind of pick up body language, to pick up, the way that they are or appear to be receiving what I'm saying, right? In this venue or method, I can't see you, right? And so only your responses in the thread gives me any indication that you're catching this, right? But when you're in a room communicating with someone, one of the things that I want you to be able to do is I want you to be able to study those who you are communicating to. Here's the other one. Practice, practice, practice. I would encourage you to never have an intense conversation without at least trying to practice what you want to say. I would encourage you that if you have to speak for somebody, right? You have to speak, practice what you want to say, practice how you want to say it. One of the great places to practice is the shower. One of the great places to practice is the shower, right? And I'm very serious about this. Create a space for you to work on not only what you're going to say, but how you're going to say it. All right. Work on pauses, work on pace, work on your facial expressions. In fact, get in front of a mirror and actually I've done that as a preacher. Get in front of a mirror and actually pay attention to how you say certain things, because it could be inviting or it could be uninviting. So you got to learn how to practice. Here's the other thing. Provide helpful feedback. Okay. Provide people a chance to give feedback to you. It is so important, especially for those of you that have to go in front of people. Your job, allow people to give you positive feedback. as to what you said, right? But also allow what you're saying to elicit that feedback is a part of who you are. Here's the other thing. Be a good nonverbal communicator. Wow. Be a good nonverbal communicator. Listen, stop getting mad at people who point out your facial expressions. They may actually be trying to help you, because one of the greatest turnoffs is a facial expression. One of the greatest turnoffs is a negative facial expression. It's the rolling of the eyes, it's the smacking of the lips, it's the almost looking offended, or you ready? Looking at someone as if they're stupid. Nothing is more discouraging to another person than when they enter in the conversation with you and you actually look at them like they're stupid, like what they're saying doesn't make sense or doesn't register. But when you are a good verbal communicator, your facial expressions, your body language says calm. You want to always communicate calm as a person who's communicating. You want your body language to stay calm. Nothing is more amazing than to be around someone who, as a communicator, that nonverbal communication is encouraging and inspiring. You can just see and sense the swag. You can see and sense that they're in control of the moment. You can sense that they are in charge. Why? Because they're nonverbal communication. Here's the other one. Choose and trust a proofreader. My wife is my primary proofreader. Choose and trust a proofreader. Why is this important? Because, and my wife has said it to me. I've posted stuff on Facebook, and it was, I missed a word here, misspelled a word, didn't, it was a run-on sentence or whatever. And she said to me, "Babe, take that down and redo it." One of the most difficult things for us as communicators is to have someone who can tell us the truth without offense. I'll admit, I'm being transparent. I've sometimes gotten offended when people have said, you could have said that differently, or you could have managed that differently. One of the things that is important about a proven proofreader is that they will protect your thoughts. They don't take your thought and reshape it. What they do is that they help you say it so that it is readable, but also that the reader has a respect of your intellect. Yes, you want someone to proofread your stuff, right? If you're sending a letter, have someone else read it. If you're writing an article, have someone else read it. If you've got to do a report, have someone else read it. If you gotta submit something to your job, have someone else read it. You want to always be readable and respected as a thought leader, and not someone that's just throwing stuff down on paper, right? Here's the next one. Select models and become a student. Select people who are really good at public speaking, or really good at communication, or really good at interaction, or really good at body language. Find people who are really good at it, and then pay attention to them, and then model them. Because it's so important that you are paying attention and you're following positive, qualitative people who help you. Here's the last point to this, and then I'll close. I'm with 4 traits needed to be an effective communicator. Here's the last one. I want everybody to put this in the thread. Keep your heart pure. The Bible says, out of the abundance of the mouth, the heart speaketh, right? The mouth is the communicating instrument of the heart. You want to know why some of you get in trouble? Because your heart is not pure, and your words will never, ever, ever be kept from people. Because eventually you will say it. Eventually you will say it. Hear me. Eventually you're going to say it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. eventually you're going to part your lips and you're going to say it. And here's the scariest part. Whenever a word leaves your heart and enters the world, you have no more control as to how far it travels. The moment I release a negative word to my wife or my children, that word may actually travel to their spouses. Because once a word is out, it's out there. That word may travel to their grandchildren. I'll be dead and gone, and they'll still be living in a word I spoke. Wow. They can be 10 years old and take that word to their children. And I'll be a granddaddy, and their children are being influenced by a word I spoke to them when they were 10, when they were 9. Here's what's deep. Some of you right now are fighting words that was said to you. Some of you right now is fighting nonverbal communication that was released to you. Some of you right now are dealing with the way someone else looked at you. So now you're uncomfortable with your body. You're uncomfortable with your hair. You're uncomfortable with this. You're uncomfortable with that. And you feel uncomfortable. Why? Because when you were 10 or 9, someone looked at you a certain way and you remember that look. You remember the look. You remember them pulling their hand back, right? You went to reach for their hand and they adjusted their hand. You remember that. So now you're intimidated to even try to hold hands because you remember the moment when the hand got pulled back. Wow. Keep your heart pure because you may actually damage somebody. You may damage your marriage and don't know you did it. You may damage your spouse. You may damage your children. You may damage your church. You may damage your business partner. You may damage your coworkers. So that's why you got to keep your heart pure. And keeping your heart pure is about constantly living in a posture of reflection and prayerfulness so that at any moment when something is said to you that could damage you, you are able to filter it out of you into the hand of God so that you don't become a prisoner to something that is destructive that was said or shown to you. My goodness, how many times have we hurt people we love because we didn't have the discipline of nonverbal communication? How many times have we, shrunk our opportunities? Shrunk them. I mean, man, we had walked in a room and all of a sudden we respond out of something, and the person who's in the room, that's the decision maker, says, I can't trust this person because this person doesn't possess the discipline. Listen, I've learned something in life. You got to have a poker face. You can't always tell folk what's in your hand. You got to have a poker face. Sometimes people are going to say things, or sometimes you're going to have things communicated. You got to have a poker face. This is so important because I'm telling you now, opportunities are shutting down because you are a poor communicator. But opportunities are also opening up because you're a great communicator. Listen, I am living in an opportunity right now, and it is all about how I wrote something and then how I shared something. I need you to get this. It's how I wrote something, but it's also how I shared something. You can't be a person who constantly operates on the surface of life. You've got to be somebody who can control, because listen, when you go on that job and you don't like something, you have to find healthy ways to communicate where you are. You can't just explode and get mad or shut down, because shutting down is as unhealthy of a communication skill as saying the wrong things. You got to then keep your heart pure. This is so important. Some of you are amazing, gifted people. You have incredible gifts. But the moment you enter into moments where you have to communicate, your idea, your gifts get shrunk. You kind of become the man or the woman who goes like Gideon and hides. No, You got to have the courage to say what needs to be said in a way that is empowering. There's an amazing quote. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name, but there's an amazing quote. It says, words are singularly the most powerful force available to humanity. We can choose to use this force constructively with words of encouragement or destructively using words of despair. Words have energy and power with the ability to help, heal, to hinder, to hurt, to harm, to humiliate, and to humble. Let me make sure everybody gets what I'm saying. Words are singularly the most powerful force available to humanity. We can choose to use this force constructively with words of encouragement or destructively using words of despair. Words have energy and power with the ability to help, to heal, to hinder, to hurt, to harm, to humiliate, and to humble. People who get over your words are bigger than you. People who get over your words are much bigger than you because they choose to not let your words become the definition of their relationship with you. But people who understand the power of words, even when you're wounded and you're hurt and you're angry, those words still have force. It is words that we remember. You know, when one for the Gipper, it's words that we remember, right? I have a dream. It's words that we remember. We remember words, right? Plymouth Rock didn't land, we didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. It's words. That's not what you can do for your country. That's not what your country can do for you. That's what you can do for your country. It's words. Words that inspire us and words that push us. We got to be able to control what we say. And we've got to be able to control what we give off. We got to be able to control how we communicate. There are some amazing doors about to be open for you. And your communication skills is going to be what swings them wide open. There are some amazing doors coming your way. So let me give you 4 traits that are needed to be an effective communicator. Here's the first one: healthy honesty. Not destructive honesty, because some honesty is not necessary. It's not the right season for it. You got to discern. But I'm telling you now, when you engage in healthy honesty, and healthy honesty isn't always telling folk what's wrong. Healthy honesty can be encouraging people and finding the right and good thing that's going on in their life. Healthy honesty. Second thing is authenticity. Step into being you and watch how amazing you are. Trust who you are. Step into being you. People will always be inspired when you're authentic. I can remember years ago when I preached for Bishop Jakes years ago. I'm not sure. I see Meacham up here. I think Meacham went with me and some others, and I went and preached for Bishop Jakes. And I can remember when I was done preaching and I was sitting on the plane and I went to look at the, I was sitting in my hotel room rather, and I went to look at the message because they gave me a copy. And I'll never forget, the Lord had me to freeze the CD or the DVD. I froze it on my computer. And the Lord said, look where you're standing. And back then it was that beautiful, rock-like backdrop that they had. And he said, look, you made it to preach at Potter's house by being you. You will be who God promotes. He already has someone else. You will be who God promotes. Your authenticity. Effective communicators are so authentic. All right? You don't have to holler if you're not a hollerer. You don't have to raise your voice if that's not who you are. You got to be comfortable. Excuse me, everybody. Third thing is integrity. Integrity of words becomes integrity of actions. What makes your words equally more powerful is that once you say them, you also give your word, and your word is integrity. But here's the last word: courage. When you are a person who is an effective communicator, you are a person of courage and conviction. Add that word too. You are a person of courage and conviction. People can tell you're sincere, even if they don't like you, and even if they don't want you to win, even if they don't want you to be successful. What they cannot do is stop you when they see courage. And add the word conviction. And when all of this is said and done, what people will discover is that your words are words of love, and your words give life. Be an honest, authentic, integrous person of courage and conviction. Pay attention to what you say. Pay attention to what you communicate. And watch what God will do. Your vision is so enormous, but if you don't know how to communicate it, it will be a great idea that dies in the cemetery of your consciousness. You don't want your consciousness, your mind, to be the place that becomes a cemetery. And the genius of who you are is never allowed into the world because you don't know how to communicate. You don't know how to say what you feel in a way that inspires others. So I want to thank you all for getting on tonight. Thank you for spending this time. We are growing. It's growing every Monday. And I'm here every Monday at 6 o'clock, E3. If you have not joined the E3 community, I do an inspirational text every Monday through Friday. It hits your phone at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It hits your phone at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Text right now. You see it going across the screen. E3 to 84576. E3 to 84576. Please join us. Please join us as well. I am always challenging you to become an investor in the E3 Engager Circle. I have a new website about to come out. And so I need I continue to need you to help me. All of you who've already given, thank you. It is actually being built out. The whole organization of John Gunn's Leadership Institute, LLC, is being built out. E3 is a part of it. And so now we're working on building out our website. And I want to encourage you to become an investor. E3JEG. Anything that you give is a blessing, but we're challenging those of you who can and will to invest $56 in E3JEG. Become an investor as we expand our reach in the world and as we seek to make a difference. I promise you that you will benefit from it, and you will be the best you can be. And if any of this information, if any of these sessions, in any of these master classes, as I want to call them, are helping you, why not join E3 right now? Go and text E3 to 84576 and get the texts and get the free downloads. Some of you are still downloading. Get the free downloads. I'm going to be here every Monday at 6 o'clock. I am committed to you. I'm committed to you. I'm committed to those who want to walk it out. Thank you for helping me grow. Thank you for challenging me to be a better person. Thank you for challenging me to be a better presenter. Because of you and you're showing up every week, I'm a better presenter. And so again, thank you all. Again, I would love to see some of you right now go to E3 JEG, Cash App E3 JEG, and just become an investor. Help me build out E3 as we take this message of changing lives all over the world. Yes, some of you do get it every morning. Thank you so much. We are at 398. I would love to at least get to 400 today, but trying to get past 390. The 390s the last couple of weeks, we've slowed down a little. And so help us. Maybe you can encourage others. Help us. Okay, help us. Listen, share this, once you get off, share this and invite others to listen and understand. You are powerful because you have the ability to communicate. Take full advantage of your capacity to communicate and understand your vision may be in your head, but your success is in your mouth. Your vision may be in your head, but your success is in your mouth. I love you guys so much. Thank you for sharing with me. And remember that you are amazing. Next week, I will have with me Scott Cotton, J. Scott Cotton, who will be sharing his vision. He's got some amazing things, and I want to bring him on to be a part of what I'm trying to do and to share what he's trying to do. And so next week, he'll be my guest. Love you guys so much. Remember this. This is your season. Seize the moment. Be blessed, everybody, and go speak your dream because the world is waiting to see you succeed. Take care.